Hello, hello, my friends. I have another dedicated review for you today. We are going to be talking about HOMEWORX Blueberry Violet Tarte. Now, this is their 4-wick, 18-ounce candle, so kind of their standard formatting with this beautiful photo wraparound label. I think HOMEWORX is one of the best in the business when it comes to these beautiful labels and the ambiance that is created when these candles are lit up. Now, I did purchase this candle from the QVC website. This actually came to me in a duo. Funny story, I actually ended up using my daughter's email account to sign up to get like one of those new QVC customer discount codes. So I was able to get the duo for about $28, which I figured, okay, $14 a candle, that's not too bad. And then I figured if I didn't like the fragrance, which I was pretty sure that I would like it, and spoiler alert, I do, but I figured, well, I can always go ahead and send it back if I don't like it. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes, shall we? Fragrance notes listed are fresh blueberries, violet petals, baked pastry, and vanilla bean. The pour date on this specific candle is October 8th of 2023, which I do think is important. I have actually come to the conclusion that any candles that were poured in 2022, I am not going to purchase. It does not matter what price I can find them for, because that year was not great for me. But to be honest, I have been having a lot of good experiences with candles that were poured starting in about September of 2023. And you can look at some of my previous HOMEWORX reviews or some of the ones that I've done a little bit more recently, like the pistachio glazed donut and the lemon poppy muffin, to kind of share some thoughts with you on the performance of those candles. But we're here today to talk about this candle. So what does my nose smell? Well, I definitely smell the blueberry note that Harry Slatkin just does so well. If you are familiar with farm stand blueberry, if you picked up last summer's, it was part of their, I always have a hard time recalling this collection. It was part of like their Carnival collection or something like that. There was a candle called Triple Berry Pie. It's the same type of berry note, that blueberry note that you pick up from either of those candles. However, this is different. It's not a repackage, because the violet petals in this fragrance give it a richness, a depth, kind of a sophistication that just elevates it a little bit above just your standard fruity type of fragrance. This one is really nice, you guys. And I will say that that violet petal accord really comes out when this candle has been burning, particularly after that like first hour of burn time. I don't really detect any vanilla bean in here, but I do get a slight hint of the crust note in the background. I want to say the blueberry and the tart mixture of here reminds me a little bit of last spring/summer. Kringle Candle had a country candle called Coconut Blueberry Tart, and if you liked that fragrance, I believe that you will like this one, because I did like that one and I like this one a lot too. There's like a sharpness from the blueberry, almost like a tanginess that I feel like is the mixture of the pastry note of the tart, you know, or like, yeah, what you're picturing here, you know. I feel like the word tart here can be used in two different ways. Tart meaning like zingy, but tart also being a pastry. And so I feel like it's working both ways here. But I think that the blueberry mixed with that pastry note in here is kind of giving a little bit of that zing in here. It's just a very lovely fragrance, but the violet petals, like I said, just add almost, I want to almost say it's like a perfuminess, but it's not. It's just that it's, I think I'm calling it a perfuminess because it reminds me of the depth a little bit of a perfume that my mom used to wear. This is not, I'm not saying it's the same fragrance, but it's more that it's just like a, I'm trying to find the right words for it. There's just a richness, a boldness to the fragrance profile here that reminds me a lot of, my mom had a perfume called Far Away from Avon of all places. And I actually now know that that is pretty much a dupe for Thierry Mugler's Alien. If you like that perfume, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's something that's very unique about that fragrance, that there's a richness, almost like a plummy richness to it, but this is not a plum fragrance. It's very, very nicely done. You're smelling a floral without knowing that you're really smelling a floral. I think that's the best way that I can describe it. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. Now, the one thing I will say is that the wicks on this candle are a little bit, I don't want to say that they're small. They're kind of like one of those like small, medium type of wicks. Now, I have had this candle lit for approximately 2 hours right now. You can see that it achieved a full pool. I did not have this in a hurricane to start out with. I will say, if you happen to have a hurricane that fits HOMEWORX candles, my personal policy right now has been that on first burn, I am lighting my HOMEWORX candles in a hurricane, because I do think, goodness, you guys, words. I do think that it does help the candle achieve a full pool a little bit quicker. I did mention this in some of my other HOMEWORX reviews, that my policy right now is generally to make sure that I have at least 4 hours, sometimes 5, on the first burn of all of these HOMEWORX candles to let them adequately pool out. Should it be that way? No, but I am finding that that is just how these wicks are performing. Now, I have seen a couple of people in the HOMEWORX Facebook group talk about puny wicks, and they're so frustrated with them falling over and whatnot. I'm not having that experience with this candle. In fact, I don't touch the wicks at all. Now, you can see that there's a little bit of carbon residue building up on the ends, but even when I go to relight, I don't trim that off, and these wicks do seem to be self-trimming. They're not falling into the wax pool. I'm not losing wicks. So I don't really know what is going on. I'm not saying that anybody is wrong in sharing that that's been their experience, but I know for me, I have not been having that issue. I will say that this candle I had lit for about 6 hours the other day, and it still was fine for me. Now, typically I don't like to burn HOMEWORX candles any longer than usually 4 hours is usually my max. But again, like I said, for some, especially that first burn, I do need at least a minimum of 4 hours to achieve a full pool on this. Let's go ahead and talk about strength and throw, because this is where I am very, very happy about it. Okay. This candle right now, without a hurricane on it, a good solid 7.5, 8, I would even say. This one is throwing very nicely without a hurricane. This is a candle you're not going to need a hurricane on in terms of getting a good strength and throw. Now, you guys know I always give dimensions here. My home was built in 2004. It is a single story. We've got high ceilings in the living room, open concept to the kitchen, more closed concepts in the bedroom. I can't remember if I mentioned the square footage. It's about an 1,800 square foot home, but it's a newer build, and this candle throws really, really well throughout the open concept living areas. I can smell it, and not only like faintly smell it, but I can smell it really well. If I put this one in a hurricane, let me tell you, you guys, this is the rare 10. I'm not, and you guys know, I don't hand that number out. I actually hand it out very, very rarely, to be honest with you. This one, when I put it in a hurricane, it does want to wrap around and overtake other fragrances that I am burning in my bedroom or on the other side of the house. So that is why it gets it. To be honest with you, it's almost one that if you place it into a smaller room in a hurricane, it might borderline become cloying or headache inducing for you. So I would give you that caution if you have maybe a smaller home, maybe avoid putting this one in a hurricane. I would say at least after the first burn. First burn for sure, to make sure that you get that good wax pool, you know, completely pooled out. But on successive burns, I don't think you're going to need it. Definitely, you guys, this has been the performer that I think we have all been waiting for from HOMEWORX for a long, long time. It's very, very strong for me, in a good way, not headache inducing. Could be if, you know, with that usage of a hurricane and depending on the layout of your home. But yeah, this one is doing really, really well for me. I'm glad that I purchased this in a duo, because this is a candle that I can see myself wanting to burn again in the summertime. I do like pairing this with some lemon fragrances. So I have been burning it with Bath & Body Works Blueberry Lemon Sour. That was a candle that I picked up during Candle Day in 2023. I've also been burning it with the new Easter collection launch from Kringle, in particular the lemon sugar marshmallow. Any kind of lemon fragrance. I really like burning blueberry and lemon together. I could also see you burning this with maybe like a vanilla type of fragrance, but overall, you guys, this one gets 2 thumbs up from me. Really, really liking it. Again, I do have a discount code at the Slatkin & Co. website. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It will save you 15% on orders over $40. We've been told that those discount codes should stack with sales. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If you are comfortable using affiliate codes, because that's what it is, I am eligible for commission on it. I will just tell you, go ahead and put it in if you want to, but I will always tell you, save the most money. That's really what's most important. That's what I do. I wouldn't ask you guys to do anything differently than what I do. But yes, let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle, what your experience has been with it. I always ask that you just remain respectful of myself and others within our community. You guys are also good about that. You know, I feel like I always say that and I never have any problems, but I feel like it's a good thing to just remind people of in there. But yeah, this one really, really good, you guys. I am really loving it. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button if you found this video helpful. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to talk about candles here on my channel. I do reviews like this. I do empties, hauls, and everything in between. So if you want to stick around for more candle content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.